everyone, welcome to another Raindance interview. I'm Aura, and I'm really happy to welcome for the second time filmmaker AJ Hanshimitsu. As we probably mentioned already, an engaged activist, award-winning animator, filmmaker, publisher, and I even think teacher.
All of them.
From Japan with Korean descendants.
Right.
And today we will be discussing about his recent project True North, which is showing at Raindance this year. And well, the film is about, well, let's better ask the filmmaker, how will you summarize your movie?
Okay, so the subject matter is the North Korea's political prison camp. It's like modern day Holocaust going on. But in essence, it's a story about a family. And it's a survival of a family, physically, but also spiritually. Because it was such a harsh living environment, so they had to physically survive. But they are at risk of losing humanity, because if you are surviving, you tend to lose your compassion towards others, kindness, but some family members try to maintain that decency, whereas other characters start losing their innocence. So I wanted to show the survival, both physical and spiritual senses. Oh, I think it's
amazing.
Frozen.
Thank you.
It's okay.
You have True North right now as a story of. Oh, sorry. Okay.
I think it's I think the
it's
network is not
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to start over, or I think my internet is fast enough?
Yeah. I think because mine is working perfectly, but you froze on my screen. We can start again if you like. So we will cut this part. So let's start again.
Sure.
Okay. So hello everyone. Welcome to another Raindance interview. Today we are welcoming filmmaker AJ Hanshimitsu, an engaged activist, award-winning animators, filmmaker, publisher, and many more other skills from Japan with Korean descendancy. And we are talking today about his most recent project, True North, which is showing at Raindance this year. And well, AJ, how are you today?
Very good, very good. And you?
I'm really good. Where are you right now?
I'm in my apartment in Tokyo, and it's the beginning of autumn season, and it's very nice, very beautiful. I think it's
amazing.
Frozen. Yeah,
we are gonna expose your last project, but it's frozen. Okay, wait. Let me check if I can change to another part of the house. It's weird. It's weird that it's frozen. Let me check this.
And then in the meantime, I try to. That's okay.
Okay. So sorry for the internet connection. I think if I.
You're frozen now.
Okay, it shouldn't be a problem anymore. I think we're good.
Okay, good.
Amazing. So let's start for third time. Let's hope this time it goes well. So hello everyone. Welcome to another Raindance interview. My name is Aura, and today I'm really happy to welcome filmmaker Eiji Han Shimizu, an engaged activist, award winner animator, filmmaker, publisher, and many more skills from Japan with Korean descendancy. Today we're going to be discussing his jersey project True North, which is showing at Raindance this year. Eiji, how are you?
Very good. And you?
I'm really good myself. Thank you very much. Where are you calling from?
I'm at my apartment in Tokyo, and
Amazing.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's the beginning of autumn season, so trees are turning the colors, and it's very nice to be in Tokyo now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Eiji, um, why not start by you making a short summary about your film True North to start the
Okay,
conversation.
right. So the subject matter of my animated film is a family surviving in North Korea's notorious political prison camp. Some call it modern day Holocaust. And it's a story of a family and, mostly a mother, son, and daughter surviving in a very harsh environment. So physical survival, but also I focus on their spiritual survival because when you are living in a dog eats dog kind of environment, of course physical survival is important, but some may lose spirituality, like some may lose compassion and kindness, whereas others try to maintain the decency. So I wanted to show both physical and spiritual survival of these characters.
Amazing. So, will you say that it is a film about finding the meaning of life in some sense, at least in these
Yes,
conditions?
right,
Okay,
right.
okay,
Because in a in a very harsh condition, can a person find a meaning? That's the big theme for my life as well, because life is not easy for everyone, and some people maintains the moral, whereas many people, changes very negatively. So I wanted to see what is it that makes people maintain, um, the kindness and compassion.
okay. So,
Hmm?
we could say that in the middle of a tragic story, you have decided to focus more on not on the atrocities, but rather on the prisoner's way of life. Why did you make this interesting choice?
So when I conducted a series of interviews to the North Korean survivors who defected themselves into South Korea, their stories, the experiences in North Korean prison camp were so bleak. I mean, I lost my appetite for 3 days hearing what's going on. And I didn't think that would make a good movie if I just describe exactly what's going on. I have to go deeper because it's almost like a horror movie. Lots of murders, violence, and then starvation, and public execution, and all that. So, of course, our film have to touch upon these elements, but I rather focus on the humanity that still exists in this harsh condition. So humanity means that, after, you know, the Q&A between me and then the survivors, they said that there are people who maintain sense of humor. There are, cooperation among prisoners, and also there are even romance between the prisoners. So I thought that element has to be picked up in my film.
I think it's really interesting because it gives an opportunity to the spectator to be in the shoes of the prisoner, in some sense, to ask, what would you do, what I do in this moment, in this situation, where would I fight for food, would I fight for maintaining physical interaction or human relationships. And I think it's really well made. But well, could you tell us more about your experience when collecting survivors' testimonies? Was it difficult to approach them? Was it difficult to establish a safe environment, to establish a conversation to take place?
So the difficulties are that the North Korea has this severe punishment of called a guilty by association. So if you commit a crime, whether it's big or minor crime, you'll be punished. Most likely you'll be executed or sent to political prison camp. But it's not only you and then your generation above, your parents, and generation below, your sons and daughters. Collectively, you are responsible. So many defectors who moved to South Korea and agreed to be interviewed, they didn't want to be they didn't want their identity to be revealed. So we have to put the the shadow over their faces because they are concerned that the concern with the safety of their families and friends left behind in North Korea. So it was I was able to talk to them, but there are some of the the defectors who didn't agree to be on this film because of the safety
Fear.
of the family members.
Of course, of course. It is quite scary to think that this is still a reality today, no? To be faced with these kind of emotions in front of you to the other person. Well,
so it's like speaking of like the Latin America, let's say, do you think that Che Guevara would rise up and then or Fidel Castro did what they did, knowing that their parents and then the kids are going to be tortured and then killed? I don't think so. So North Korea is, I mean, it's in a way very clever in terms of setting up the system to maintain their power. They examined all their the regimes that lasted long and see what is it that made their power maintained. And one of which is this guilty by association system.
It is terrible. It is completely inhuman, and wow, no, you're completely right. I think it is a very clever system. Nevertheless, it creates, it maintains histories as the one you told present still today, which is kind of unbelievable. Yes. True North provides images of a phenomenon from which there are no photographic evidence, besides the satellite images that you provided at the end of the film. Considering this is an animated film, do you think the viewer's relation to it will be different to whereas if it was a live film, animation film, no animation, but documentary movie?
Like I said earlier, if somebody managed to get into North Korea's political prisons and then the film, it would be hard to see it in a feature length film because it's just tragedy after another tragedy and another tragedy. If it's short documentary, it's okay, but I think the degree of brutality is too much to bear in like 90 minutes documentary, I would say.
Okay, interesting choice then. Very useful then for your purpose, the tool.
Yeah.
The film starts and finishes with vibrant colors. When the film it starts and it finishes with vibrant colors. But
Mhm.
then the film shifts towards a more monochrome palette, and I think it's very interesting because it sets the mood or the tone for the movie. Could you
Mhm.
share us more about your decisions in the designs that you like, the design decisions that you had to make?
Mhm. So thank you for asking. I'm glad that you noticed. There are three locations. One is more to the Vancouver today, and we are on the TED stage, so everything is colorful. Then Pyongyang, which is kind of it's still colorful, but with a little bit of shade of like sepia color. Then prison camp, which looks bleak. Whether it's winter or springtime. So I kind of changed the vividness of the setting, depending on where the characters are.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Um, what were the happiest and saddest moments for you making this process?
Happiest and saddest. I'm happy right now because I'm sharing the film with the audience, and then receiving some mostly positive feedback. Um, and that's definitely rewarding. But the difficult one is, I mean, you know, I wonder how much you have time, like how much time you have, like because I can continue on because it took me 10 years to complete, and then it
Feel free
was
to tell us everything.
yeah, no, I mean, um, first of all, because of this sensitive, politically sensitive subject matter, it was so hard to raise money, and then in the end, I couldn't raise money, so I put my own, saving, and then and it was my first animated film project, so technically there are lots of difficulties, so I almost gave up. But I felt that this project is bigger than myself, so I
Was it
somehow
scary
managed to.
to, sorry, was it scary to do it alone, as you said?
Yeah, it is. It is scary. It is, and then like many of indie filmmakers, Raindance has a bunch of indie filmmakers. Um, I think we share the same feeling. You alone, although you can, hire people, but if you're the owner of the project, constant self-doubt,
Mhm.
insecurity, and then you're not sure what the hell you're doing, but you have this vision. You know, if I put these pieces together, I can make something, and I can tell important message to the audience. You just have faith, and then just keep going. That is a lonely and scary place to be in. But I'm on the other side of the tunnel, and looking back, the whole thing was fun. I mean,
It was
exciting. So
regarding, yeah, it was regarding
right.
personally, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's amazing to hear. It's amazing that
Mm-hmm.
there that you got so engaged into this project, and I think you truly gave your heart to it, and you can really tell in the film. So congratulations
Yeah,
again.
thank you.
Um, what do you expect the audience? How do you expect the audience to receive this
Mm-hmm.
film?
Actually, so the reason I wanted to make this film is to make a difference, and I could have easily chosen some subject that could be more popular, more profitable. Like, I don't know, I can come up with some like a superhero animation, or spaceship, and then sci-fi and all that. But I chose this bleak subject because I wanted to change change the situation. And I am hoping that, well, let me tell you my biggest fear, because North Korea is on the news headline, has been on the news headline for a long, long time. And, Trump tries to make a deal, then South Korea tried to make a deal. So sooner or later, we need to receive them in the world stage. The regime, I don't know if it's with the Kim Jong-un or not, or somebody else, or what form, unification, I don't know. But sooner or later, North Korea would enter the world stage, as we know. And before that happens, like what the Nazis did during the World War II, knowing that they're going to be defeated, what they did was to eliminate all the evidence, including the buildings of the Auschwitz and the concentration camps, as well as the survivors, the prisoners, the lives of prisoners. And there are 120,000 people are considered to be it is assumed that the 120,000 people are detained in political prison camp today. And then my biggest fear is that before we receive North Korea into the world stage, North Korea wanted to clean up, including the lives. So if my films, together with the audience, do recognize that, hey, wait a minute, we'll welcome you, but you got to be held accountable. You gotta, don't forget about North Korean prisoners. And I think that the existence of the film works as the biggest deterrent to prevent the regime from doing something stupid. So yeah, so I want the audience to spread the word, and then let their friends and families to recognize that this type of atrocity is taking place today.
I think your goal is already being achieved, because there's already quite a few of people that were interested by the last interview we did and were interested by the headlines of your film. So I really, really hope that this film is not only reproduced. I think it's an important film, as you say, it's an active film, and I think it can, it's not a lost fight, and I think it should be a thing that should be pursued. It's a very vicious circle, what you just said about everything you just said, the guilty by association, the entrance of North Korea eventually to the world stage, holding accountable, but also saving lives, and how much actually, once those lives are saved, how much you can give back to them, whatever you took away from them. So it is a very tragic event. And I think the world knows. I don't think the world is aware enough, but I think the world is starting to notice. And I think projects like yours are really important. And I think this is what makes film so important and so magical as well. It's one of the aspects I think it should be continued, basically.
Thank you.
So amazing. No, amazing, really. I am truly impressed by your work. So, well, AJ, do you have anything that you want to share with us besides everything you just said?
I not much. I wish I could be at the Raindance in person, because definitely I've heard a lot of great things about the Raindance Film Festival. So sad that I cannot make it, but what to do. So yeah, just I spent 10 years making this film, and then released it at the worst possible timing. But anyways, still struggle continues. Yeah.
No, but still, the film can. A film is always going on and on and on. It doesn't end with the premiere, so
Yeah.
do not worry about that. Well, I think if you have to anything to add, this is the moment. Otherwise, I thank
Yeah,
you.
actually, one more thing. So I'm now ready to make another film, and I'm working on a few scripts. And if the viewer, possibly with deep pocket or some skills, the valuable skills, wanted to collaborate, then I'm open with open arms.
That is amazing. Is there any particular audience or any particular partners that you would like to share this project with?
Anybody who, I mean, what I have decided was that if there's a, okay, so imagine a diagram, like the first two says like important, unimportant. This axis says popular and unpopular. You know, I always wanted to make important movies, even if it's unpopular. What I don't want to do is to make a popular movie but unimportant. So anybody who wants to join that journey, then you are my the
You're welcome.
comrades. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, amazing,
Right.
amazing. I think that's a very well description.
All right.
Okay, so AJ, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay,
It
thank
was
you.
really amazing to see you again, and I really wish you the best luck possible with your project and for your project.
Okay, thank you.